Hey there, friends and enemies. Joe here again, and today I want to talk about the First Descendant. We have the beta coming sooner rather than later. I'm very excited about it, and we'll have 3 characters available to play during the beta, but they've announced a bunch of other characters as well, so I wanted to kind of go over all of them and talk about where I see the potential being with the various characters, because I'm very excited to get hands-on with this game, and I've seen a lot of great things from the gameplay and the trailers that we've seen so far. Anyway, the first character that you'll see is Lepic, Lepic, a former soldier, a jovial but reckless war fanatic who uses powerful guns built in his right arm. Position: wide range dealer. Combat concept: uses hand grenades with various effects to defeat multiple enemies. So he is going to be your AoE attacker. He's going to be focusing on wiping out as many ads as possible, probably not doing as much damage as a single target DPS, but will be useful for clearing a bunch of enemies and waves and all that kind of good stuff. So this is a character that I believe is going to be very, very popular because it seems like a catch-all that a lot of people are going to enjoy using, especially if you get a variety of grenades to use and different ways to use them as well. So having the gun built into his arm is also pretty sick, and I think that's going to make him popular. We've seen it with Barret in Final Fantasy VII. Those types of characters tend to be very well received, so I think Lepic is going to be a character who a lot of people are a fan of. Then you've also got Viessa. Now, she's a former criminal gang member with the skill of controlling cold air. Position: debuffer. Combat concept: specializes in limiting enemies' actions. So she's going to be kind of crowd control, debuffing, boosting the team. I have a feeling she'll be a little bit less popular because of that. Most people like to see the big damage numbers themselves, but as a support character, she could be incredibly useful. Her design is really cool too. So I think because of that, people might flock to her a little bit, but overall, we see it in all kinds of, whether it's looter shooters, RPGs, the main characters are the ones who can dish out heavy damage potential. So it'll be very interesting to see how they balance Viessa compared to the other characters and make her really viable, as not only she goes forward with her debuffs and her crowd control, but also her own damage as well. Because if she doesn't do enough herself, I just don't see a lot of people really flocking to her, even if her character design is really, really cool. That's just something to be aware of, and something I'm hopeful, and this is just for past experience in games like this. Characters who aren't heavy DPS tend to be put by the wayside. Now we're getting to Ajax. Now, Ajax is probably the character that I like the design of the most. He looks sick. He reminds me of a Titan from Destiny 2. You know I love that game. You know I'm a Titan main, so I just absolutely love his design. His body is covered in armor and he uses space warp technique that he mastered while lost in the void. Position: bruiser, melee sounds like. Combat concept: create synergy based on high viability. So there's a lot going on, and this character really stands out compared to the other two so far and has me very, very excited. Bruiser, that makes me think he's a brawler, melee character, gets in your face as a Titan main. Like I said, punching things is my jam, so I'm in on that. His design, the horns are sick. He looks like a dope character for sure. But the space warp technique is what has me most excited, because it seems like he's going to be able to almost blink into danger and throw some hands and then really get himself out of trouble, or stay in trouble and just tank everything because of his armor. So if he has all of that combined, that sounds really fantastic. And if I'm going to pick a character that I think is going to be the number one picked character of the first 3 so far, Ajax is the man. I can't imagine him not being, unless we have busted grenades or the debuffing is absolutely wild good. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how that plays out. And I can't wait to get more information on Ajax. Those are the 3 characters that will be available in the beta. So after that, the rest of the characters will be available once the full game releases. Now, the first of the other characters is Bunny. Again, after the first two characters, I feel like the rest of them, the designs are a little bit more flavorful. And so she's a girl with super fast legs attacking with electricity. Her position is a nuker. That sounds sick. Combat concept, a character with skill configurations for strong damage. She is going to be a single target or small range DPS. And if I have, after the first three characters, Ajax looks really, really good, but Bunny is right there with him as far as characters that I feel like are going to be top tier pick rates at this point. If she's just a walking nuke and just can do insane damage, I feel like she's going to be tremendous. And so I also think because of her design, the bunny ears and the suit and everything like that, she's going to be a fan favorite. You can mark my words. Put it down in the comments and let me know when the game does release if I'm right or wrong. But she just looks like a character that is absolutely going to be fantastic and have a high pick rate. Then we've got Jaber. Jaber is interesting. He looks definitely like your mage archetype. A genius boy who controls the flow of electric current and combats using two turrets. Position utility. Combat concept summons turrets with various effects such as attacking and recovering. This reminds me of the Technomancer from Outriders. And if the turrets are strong enough, a character like this can be broken. But that's what it depends on, the turrets being strong enough. If you can have a character that summons animals or turrets or whatever the case may be to assist, the how strong or weak they are really makes it. If you can build out those turrets and customize them in a way that to make them absolutely nuke things, this could be a sleeper character that a lot of people will end up picking up once they find out how strong it is. But I don't know if it's one that a lot of people will pick from the jump because it is a utility character, and a lot of times people like to get in there and see their big damage numbers or whatever. But once you find out how, like when I was playing Technomancer and Outriders, I would just throw down some turrets and just stand back and let the turrets do all the work. Like I could just walk through content with the turrets and not have to worry about anything. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes with Jaber and whether he's going to be that strong or not. But this is one to watch for sure. We've got Glay. Now, using the enemies and even her own HP as an energy source, her attacks are fierce. Her attacks are fierce but deadly. Position close range dealer. Combat concept, she earns life balls for self heal when taking down enemies, and enters berserk mode which makes her powerful. She's a vampire. She's a vampire character, and that I think has got a ton of potential. Having a berserk mode where she can kind of be a vampire barbarian almost is crazy. And that has me very excited as well because I think having a character, a melee character like that, who probably isn't as tanky or defensive as Ajax, but can dish out crazy damage and then heal herself as long as you're getting kills. That almost promotes a really aggressive playstyle, which I like a lot, and she might be my number 2 behind Ajax. And I might even try to run her more often once the full game does release as well, instead of him, because if you set her up correctly and you can get her berserk mode going and you get her doing a ton of damage and just mowing down enemies, and then she's just self-healing, she could be basically invincible. So the only question with characters like this is going to be when there's not enough enemies, like it's not a swarm, it's just a single boss, is she still viable enough? You know, sometimes with those characters that rely on kills to heal can be a little bit underwhelming on bosses because they don't have anything to feed off of, and that's a bit of a problem. So hopefully she has some counters to that where she can kind of spec into being a boss damage character as well. So that'll be interesting because otherwise she might not be useful all the time. And then we have this, which is, it doesn't have names here, but we've got an assassin concept melee dealer, poison type continuous dealer. That could be interesting. and then a fire controller concept continuous dealer. So the new characters, again, one of the main things I'd love to see from this game is a variety, right? We're going to have to wait and see how you can build each character and make them unique, or if they're a little bit more limited. Because with something like Destiny, you have a wide variety of options, subclasses, and stuff with each class, but there's only 3. So now we're looking at a bunch of different characters who I hope don't feel the same. Like if I have an Ajax and you have an Ajax, are they going to be identical? And sometimes that happens. Like in Outrider, that happened quite often. Is like there was only one real viable route to go. So I hope that's not the case, and I hope everyone's character. Because one of the things that I love about games like this, looter shooters, RPGs in general, build crafting. I want to be able to make a build that's my own, fits my playstyle, and makes me fall in love with the character because I really want to use them in the style that I choose. And so if I have a melee character that is tanky but can still do heavy damage and is specced out in a way that I enjoy playing them, that's what I'm looking forward to. So this is very interesting. It does look like there's a lot of variety. Again, a poison type, that's really cool. Fire, we got electricity, we got an assassin, we got a tank, we have a vampire type. Like, there's a lot there that looks like it could be really, really cool. We are just going to have to wait till the beta and then the full release to see how it all works out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more First Descendant content from me because I'm very excited about this and I'm going to throw on a ton of stuff once this game does drop. So stay tuned for that. My name is JoPa. I hope you have a good one and I'll catch you all later.